we go there, I'd like to encourage each and every one of us to please make use of the chat boxes as the sessions are going on. Drop your messages and questions if there be any. And without wasting much of our time, I'd like us to introduce the first facilitator for today's session. He's Dr. Adewale. He's the founder and executive director of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship. He's going to be taking us on the first session for today. Please, Dr. Adewale, you have the floor now.
Hi, everyone. How are we doing today? I'm so excited to join all of you today. It's always a delight coming in and to just see all your beautiful faces. How have you been first? How have you been doing? It's been a wonderful and great week. Yeah, I always look forward to the Sunday sessions because it's always an opportunity to connect with amazing people all over the world, doing great things together. Today, I will be speaking on a subject matter on which this fellowship is founded, on which this fellowship, the entire fellowship is structured around, which is the Global Art and Health Festival. And then just going to be providing context and details on what and what we have to do. So today's session is kind of very unique and different. It's not activity-based. It's more conversation-based and also more of maybe kind of like orientation as well, just providing more education and information and details as to what this fellowship represents and what are the core areas that this program covers and what is required of us as Global Art and Medicine Fellows and what do we have to do, right? So I will move very quickly and very, very fast. And we will just go from there. So I'm sure you all can see my screen, right? Yeah, this is one of the amazing image from, from one of the sessions we've had in the time past. And so today's introduction to Art and Health Festival. And yeah. So I'll play.
Hello, I'm Catherine Crowley and I'm based in Kerry in Ireland, which is at the very western edge of Europe. The European team members couldn't meet in person for this project because we're scattered all over. So we took some small individual actions and then collaborated to figure out how to share some insights with you today. We looked at creativity through the lens of visual art, virtual reality therapies, music, and conversations to see how creativity instills a sense of joy in our aging population. I hope that you enjoy this little glimpse at how creativity fosters joy in our aging population. Joy is chatting with like-minded people, dancing. It's those small moments that matter. The data tells us that a lot of physical and emotional responses have been documented. Increased alertness, social activity, a boost to self-worth, more optimism about life in general, and positive changes in health behaviour.
Dancing to different musics that interest her, that piques her interest, actually brings out the fun parts of her, brings joy to her. And with this part of art, she's able to express so much love to her members of her family and to members of her society as well. It actually takes her into her meaning, into the very beginning, into the meaning of everything that happens around her. These are actually areas that can be harnessed to help and also to alleviate the burdens of aging.
We use virtual reality, creative therapies and immersive technology to support the well-being of everyone from children with autism up to the elderly with Alzheimer's. Virtual reality has opened a new world of possibilities for those who may struggle physically or mentally. At VR Therapies, we are able to paint with stars and fire, creating magic all around us. We can bring artwork to life and walk under Van Gogh's Starry Night or sit beside Mona Lisa, fusing art and medicine into a magical prescription, helping people, most importantly, smile again.
One a penny, two a penny, up crust buns. Oh yeah? Yeah. Wonderful. And please do. Do you know what?
The world is colorful, the world is beautiful. We shouldn't forget the fact that art is exploration. Art can be photography, art can be dance, and art can be having to paint.
What brings me joy? Having a purpose. To accept every day as the sun rises. This is our dream.
Wonderful. That is a brilliant festival project done by one of a group of our fellows, based in Europe and also in United Kingdom as well. And they were able to put in their ideas together and they were able to deliver that interventions during the last cohort. So the Global Art in Medicine Fellowship, focuses on dimension of how we can bring in a level of creativity, a level of collaboration, a level of cross-disciplinary engagement. And for the festival in a way is what validates your credibility as a Global Art in Medicine Fellow. So this is tied to your participation in the festival. And all members of each of the regional group is expected to participate and contribute their quota in this engagement. So any fellow, and I'm saying this now, who doesn't participate in the festival will not receive certificates from us, and we also not formally recognize you as a Global Art in Medicine Fellow. So, but then this is what it is for us, and we want to just take note about that. So about the Art in Health Festival. So the Art in Health Festival is a series of creative activities led by the Global Art in Medicine Fellows with the aim of providing engagement that support care, health and well-being and social development in a community or in a country or in a region. So this event is curated to benefit specific population in a particular region within a time frame. The Art in Health Festival is an integral part of the Global Art in Medicine Fellowship curriculum, where fellows like you get to demonstrate your skills and knowledge for community benefit. It is a must for every fellow in the program. Our goal for the festival include advancing the culture of care and well-being through creativity, cross-cultural and interdisciplinary collaboration. Our objectives for the festival include to foster cross-cultural and interdisciplinary collaboration amongst fellows across countries represented the Global Art in Medicine Fellowship cohort. The objectives also include to strengthen the practice of art in health regionally, and lastly, to advance equity in art and health engagement globally. The Art in Health Festival in focus, it focuses on advocacy and awareness, creative engagement, cultural exchanges, education, research opportunity or development, and social development as well. So while you develop your programs, your project or interventions during this fellowship, at the end of the day, it probably to fall in under advocacy, creating awareness, or it's going to be more of just creative engagement, or it's going to be more of about educating people, maybe health promotion, right? Or it's going to be something around the research development based on whatever topic or project you have decided to embark on. Before the festival is the ideation day. So the ideation day for this cohort is November 5. So the ideation day basically is the day each regional group is expected to pitch or present the idea for the Art in Health Festival to the global community of Art in Medicine Fellows or Fellowship. This particular day, Each region will be represented by 1 or 2 presenters to pitch the idea for 5 minutes. 5 minutes with emphasis. Our invited global mentors and facilitators will provide feedback on the presentations to enable fellows to make adjustments in their project. Also, alumni members are also welcomed during this particular day to just hear your beautiful ideas and what you are set to do during your cohort. The Art in Health Festival timeline basically is usually 2 weeks, 2 weeks of intense engagement. And for your cohort, it's going to be from November 12th to November 26th. November 12th to November 26th this year is going to be when the festival will be happening. Think about this. You can set up virtual meetings for discussions and idea brainstorming for your Art in Health Festival project. So very soon you're going to be put into regional groups, and then we encourage you to start having virtual meetings, start having conversations, start talking about what is of interest to you and how you can collaborate together. Diversity. Your diversity is your strength. Think about what each person in your team is bringing to the table. Everyone has something to offer. So when you're in a team, one of the things we also say about the Global Art Investing Fellowship Program is not for artists. And there's sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not expressive and all of that. But every one of us actually has something to offer, whether it's in coordination, whether it's in talking, whether it's in designing. Think about all of that. So therefore, identify your strength and use it to plot your regional group project in the Art in Health Festival. Think about also your skill set. Whether it's filmmaking or documentary, photography, origami, painting, event planning, creative writing, team building, hospitality, graphic design, marketing and communication, dance, drama, theater, music, digital art making, performance art, curatorial skills, administrative skills, art exhibition, grant writing, research, multimedia art, teaching, facilitating, mindfulness, meditation, among many others. Think about what skill set you have in your group. Start thinking about and start mapping your strengths, your skills, and now you can use that as a leverage to be able to deliver your program. What is your common ground? So again, find out what each person in the team is passionate about and the population they work with or they hope to serve. E.g., some people are very interested in mental health. Some people are very interested in displacement, brain health or dementia, Alzheimer's. Some people are interested in maternal health, disability, social justice, activism, education, empowerment, among many others. So find out what is your common ground and then start exploring collaboration on that. We always encourage fellows not to impose personal ideas. We know many of you came into the fellowship very sophisticated, but we just say that make it very soft so that everybody can actually collaborate and work together, because that is the essence of the fellowship. And then at the end of the day, we want to ensure that whatever you do is what you have agreed to do as fellows and not because of an individual. So again, so think about the population. What population do you want to really support through your project? Are the children, are the adolescents, are the women, are the girls, are the youth, are the adults, are the elderly, older persons? Think about the age bracket for this population as well, who are going to benefit from your project. Maybe they are between ages 5 to 12, 20 to 19, 20 to 30, 30 to 50, or 50 upward. Think about all of these people that would benefit from your engagement. Thinking about the location for the festival. So it's kind of hybrid in nature. It's decentralized. And again, it could be on-site, it could be online. For the on-site, so think about what community your project will benefit. Are these people in the slum? Are they in correctional centers? Are they in prison? Are they in care homes or nursing home or correctional centers, hospices, health centers, schools, public places or hospital? For the on-site, start thinking about the location that the population that your project will benefit domicile or resident, right? Think about also your project could be online, actually. So whether you want to leverage Zoom, Google Hangouts, StreamYard, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and other online platforms, all of this can be utilized for your project implementation. Think about this very well, your event status. Your project can be a private and a public event. So when we say private event, what does it mean? This is an event that is exclusive by invitation and participation. So this does not require any member of the public to participate. I mean, imagine you having sensitive session with audience in the mental health hospital, right? So this session could be in hospice, could be health center, could be displaced camp, could be correctional centers or hospital. So all of these places, do not really allow room for public engagement because it's very private, because of the also privacy of the clients as well, who are actually like part of this particular organization, right? So think about if you want to engage those in this particular very private, maybe that is the status for your own project, and then maybe it's going to be public again. When we talk about public engagement, it's more of like this is open to the general public, and this can be by invitation and registration. You can use Eventbrite, publicize your activities. It could be at a community hall where you have invited other people to be part of this. So think about all of this and what you might want to do. So at the end of the day, participation can be hybrid in nature, and this can be online or on-site as well. Look at this sample of art in health festival schedule. So I want you to look at the screen here. Look at the breakdown of the schedules in front of you with the color codes and all of that, with dates as well. This is what it's going to look like at the end of the day. The timing of your event, the day of your event. You need to be very, very specific so that we can plot all of this in the event schedule. Yeah, so funding. People often ask this question: funding, where are we going to get the money from? We will say this, and because again, these are practice anyway. So all projects in the Art and Health Festival is funded by fellows across regional groups. So how? You can contribute financially as a group. So you can decide to put your money together. You can decide to crowdfund for your project or project. You can also leverage the relationship with your professional colleagues and organizations that you're affiliated with for space, material donations, and time donations. If you choose to invite a top-notch speaker or a facilitator for your session, then for us, if you're in need of Zoom for your virtual project session, like Global Intimacy Fellowship is your free resource. So we can always provide that Zoom, because again, we have license for the entire year, and at least for about 500 audience. Partners, right? And partners for your Art and Health Festival. Art and Health Festival could be your organization or the organization you hope to partner with to implement your project. Maybe it's your community. Write a letter and request for partnership or collaboration. And the Global Intimacy Fellowship letter is available for certain groups that are interested in writing letters to different organizations that they would like to partner with. Documentation. This is very important. So with permission from the participant, we encourage you to take pictures of your event, make videos to validate your report for your regional group project. All pictures and videos from the Art and Health Festival project will be used for your cohort documentaries to be featured during the virtual closing ceremony, possibly. And usually we use this also for education and also awareness about the program. If your group project is missing, it is because there's no media documentation submitted to our team. And by all means, we encourage you to document your project in the festival and submit your written report, images, videos, and other media to our team. Social media engagement and publicity. All festival activities will be reported through the Art and Medicine Fellowship social media handles. Regional group leaders should send their media materials to the Global Art and Medicine Fellowship marketing and communication team lead, and also the admin in this regard. No group is encouraged to create a second or third party channel as a medium of communication for projects related to the Global Art and Medicine Fellowship festival, except by approval. All projects will be publicized in the event schedule. We also encourage our fellows to share festival events across their social media platforms. Yeah, your winning team, who do you need for this festival that I've been talking about for the past few minutes? Your mentor, so you're going to be having a mentor assigned to you in your region. And also you're going to be having subgroup leaders as well. So we're going to be choosing some people among you who are going to be helping to lead and support you. Also, we're going to be think about also your fellows as part of the winning team. The facilitators in this fellowship also are also part of your winning team, because we would love you to like pay attention to some of the things that have been shared during the fellowship, such that some of the things that is being shared can be of great benefit to you when you're planning or plotting your program. And then lastly, the Global Intimacy Fellowship leadership and team is part of your winning team. So everyone here matters, right? So think about who you need in your region to be able to carry out your project. Solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. All fellows are encouraged to participate in and attend the virtual event hosted by their colleagues during the Global Intimacy Festival, Global Art in Health Festival. During this event, we've seen some of our fellows in their region they host public event that is virtual, that is also like international in its design, and then we often encourage fellows to show up to attend as a form of solidarity, and also as a way of also kind of learning from other groups as well. Celebrate your team, regardless of the obstacles you might encounter. So we encourage you to stick together to tackle it. Celebrate your wins as one big family and team. You know, we can't overemphasize this, that the Global Intimacy Fellowship Program is a family, right? So regardless of how sophisticated we are with our portfolio, we have that sense of togetherness, we have that sense of coming together, we have that sense of sharing together. And when there is a problem, when there's a challenge, instead of blaming people, we stick together to tackle it and win together as a family, or win together as a team. Because the essence of putting it together as a team is such that you can, you know, leverage your skills or individual, you know, professionalism to tackle challenges. And we'll tell you, this is not a project without challenge in its own design, on its own way. But again, think about how you are going to overcome those challenges when the need arises. And thank you so much for listening to me. So if you do have questions, please, you can ask your questions now. You are free to, yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adewale. Someone actually asked a question. Lindsay wants to know if it would be possible to send these slides after the meeting.
Definitely, the slides will be made available. And also, apart from that, I think, you know, usually we record the sessions, right? So you have the recordings as well. So, but then we will send you the slides and also the recordings. You have it. You can go back to it so that you can be able to understand what has been said and then digest it and see how you can utilize some of the information on it.
Rudo wants to know what happens if she's the only fellow in her country.
So usually, what country is the person from?
She didn't mention.
So
Rudo, please, what country are you from? Malawi. She said she's from Malawi.
So the way this fellowship runs is such that sometimes we have two people from one country and one person from one country. So we create regional groups. So whether it's East Africa, North Africa, or Middle East, or country. For instance, Nigeria has a lot of almost about 200 people, almost 200 fellows or so. So, and then look at that large number. So sometimes we start thinking about how to even group fellows based on regions, say like state, Lagos 1, Lagos 2, Lagos 3, Lagos 4, right? So, but you will never walk alone. You will never walk alone. So usually by country or by community or by state or by region or by local government. So yeah, the grouping is not by country in certain instances, but also based on, I mean, for somebody who is from Malawi, and maybe he or she is the only person from Malawi, we can have that person alone and as a group. So we create, you know, regional group to say maybe North or East Africa and put them together so that they can collaborate cross-country, right? And to be able to deliver their project.
Okay. Joy notes that the slides are blurry from the recordings. She says that she would like to have slide presentations. I don't know if that's...
I'll convert it to PDF.
Okay.
And that way, so once it's in PDF, then everybody can still be able to go back to read it. Is that okay?
I think that would help.
All right.
Yeah. And then Samia wants to know if everybody is able to participate in this event.
Yeah. So everyone, my colleague will be speaking shortly about that in a very detailed way, how you're going to engage. Remember during my presentation, I mentioned that think about what you have to offer, right? So, and that's why the program is interdisciplinary. So maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're a business person. There's something everybody has to offer. You can't hide somewhere, right? So you have to think about what you bring to the table. And I think the next presentation is going to help you to harness to understand it better. So it's going to be like a kind of like a balanced diet for my presentation.
Okay, Bisola wants to know if someone can perform an event in their local community alone without support from the group.
Well, primarily we encourage collaboration. Over time, even during the opening ceremony, we said it. Our greatest asset for the fellowship is collaboration, and that we cannot rule it out, right? We encourage you to first collaborate, deliver your project as a group. And if you choose to now start doing individual projects, you can do it maybe after the fellowship. We encourage fellows to do things in their community, but this fellowship primarily encourages, that group work, that collaboration. And we've also seen dimensions of where you can deliver something in your country or community, depending on what you choose to agree on as a group. If you look at the video I played for all of us, some of our fellows who are based in the UK, there are some based in Manchester, the other person in Nottingham. They are like in different communities in the UK, but they agreed on what they are going to do. And one thing they found, one was common ground of working with the elderly. I don't know where you were paying attention to the video. You see where they were playing music. If you look at a group of persons in that room, were elderly. If you look at the VR therapies, or the VR therapy, it was delivered for the elderly. But these people are actually located in different locations, but the baseline was the adult population. So they did this separately in their community, but brought it together, and they were able to use that video to explain what they did together as a group because they agreed on it. So you can do that individually if you agree on this as a group, what you want to do. So think about that. And we've seen fellows traveling from one state to the other state to go join their other fellows. We've seen fellows book hotels and have nice time with other fellows because like we've been meeting and talking on Zoom for a long time. We would love to meet other people in this region. We've seen fellows travel from some people travel from Lagos and travel to another state to be part of what people are doing. So that is encouraged. The fellowship is kind of very unique and very flexible in its design. Right.
All right, Caroline Braithwaite wants to know if the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship considers sustainability in festival efforts. For example, what happens after the projects are completed?
So usually we encourage fellows to, our job is to encourage, our job is not to force, because we don't enforce, we don't force, we encourage. And then we can't do anything outside that. We encourage, relationship building. And then I'm also emphasizing that now. Like if you have not started building relationship with other people from other cohorts, start thinking about how you can connect with other people and how you can build a relationship with them and what you can do post-fellowship, right? So we encourage that. And we encourage post-fellowship projects, cross-cultural, cross-continent, cross-country, cross-discipline. We encourage all of that. But again, we don't enforce and we do not force. Our job is to just encourage, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know if that answered that very well, because again, with some people, we've seen some fellows actually who got funding to probably do their project post-fellowship. They got funding from other places to be able to continue what they do. Again, these are part of the things we encourage. Get funding, to support. And again, as a group, you can come together and do your thing. You can do your thing, own it as a project, and drive it beyond the fellowship. Take ownership of it. It's your dream. It's your idea, and it does not die within the fellowship. It has a capacity to grow and continue a capacity to also scale as well.
Okay. Hikima says that she would like to discuss possibility of collaborations, especially as it has to do with arts in care homes.
All right. So when you're put in a group, discuss with your group members.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first place for the conversation is your group. It's not with us, because again, we exist as an institution, right? But you have a role to start having conversation with the people that you've been put together in a group with. Start discussing, start having conversation around it. I mean, for instance, I when I was in Nigeria, I do a lot of programs in care homes, in mental health, facilities and all of that. So from art to virtual reality, VR therapy program, music, hosting orchestra, music, concert in hospitals. So I do multiple things. So think about all of the things you also do as well, whether it's mental health, whether it's brain health, whatever you do, just think about how you can be able to harness your ideas together and how you'll be able to deliver your project.
Mayasi has a concern. So in the forms she filled her home country, which is Egypt, but she says she currently lives in London, and she wants to know if that's going to cause a problem while putting them in groups.
So we encourage you, again, if you're based in London, we encourage you probably to stick to people in the UK, because deliver your project in the country where you're resident. I think it makes most sense.
Okay. And then Miriam wants to know if we can have volunteers who are not members of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship.
Well, you can have volunteers, but one of the things you have to be very careful about is be aware of the people you're bringing in as volunteers, so that they don't create problem for the fellowship. Because sometimes people don't have understanding of what an institution represents. They come in with personal agenda, and they cause harm for the group and create a bad image for the fellowship. So if you're going to have volunteers, let us know and make sure they are properly screened, verified, approved before you engage.
Vera David wants to know what it would cost to own a virtual reality device, and if there's any procedures for making one.
Well, if you're in Nigeria, you can buy from Jumia. If you're not in Nigeria, you can buy from Amazon. If there's Amazon in your country, you could just go on Amazon, just type, I use Oculus Quest 2, right? And I hope to buy the Oculus, I think Pro very soon. Yeah, so just use that, use those platforms to be able to make a purchase for your work.
All right, I think we don't have any more questions. In the absence of any, we'd like to thank you again, Dr. Kunle Adewale, for a very insightful session. And we hope that we're going to make use of all the information that you've put across to us today. So I think we'll have to quickly take a group picture now. We encourage everybody to please put on your videos if your video is off, while we quickly do that.
I see somebody asking a question there, but let's quickly take this picture and we answer the question, okay?
All right. Yes, please. You're muted, Dr. Adewale. We can't hear you.
We're asking you to smile. Those who are squeezing your face. Maybe it's hunger. I think I'm good. I'm okay.
Okay, so quickly, the last question came in from Otatene Andrew. he wants to know when we are going to be grouped by location. Did you get the question, Dr. Adewale?
Yeah, I got the question.
Alright.
I think the admin will communicate that shortly. The admin will
Okay.
communicate that shortly. I think either this week or next week, thereabout, but it's not going to be too long from now. We're working on that very soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, fellows. Thank you very much for listening. Quickly, we'll go straight into the second session. And that session is going to be handled by Rania Disoki. Rania Disoki is a business consultant and a lecturer. She's also an artist and a member of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship Cohort 3. She's an alumni of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship. And she's based in Egypt. She was the team leader for the North Africa and the Middle East during her cohorts. Rania, you have the floor now.
Thank you, Primrose, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a nice time. So today is one of the most interesting lectures, actually, because you will live with the project for some time. So as Conley has mentioned, it's a mandatory for the fellowship, for the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship, is to participate in the project, where it would be actually a practical application of the fellowship, the program. So today, I will be taking you through the practical steps in order to take action into the group. So next week, when you have clarity on the group, you will be discussing and clear on what actions you need to take. This presentation today is a mix between the academic part of management, so principles of management, with an application specifically dedicated for the managing the projects for arts and health, based on my experience with cohort 3 as a group leader. So today, the session, we will be getting to know more information how to prepare for the festival, which is actually a collective project that everyone will be doing across different countries in a dedicated time period, which is between the 12th to the 26th of November. We will talk a little bit more about projects management and team management, so how to be part of a team and how to make sure that you're managing the project in the most flowy and smooth way. How to be part of the effective team, and for the team leaders, how to build effective team. This is applicable for this project or any other project. And we are taking the project for North African Middle East Cohort 3, which was named Art for Hope, as a practical example that could inspire and guide you on your journey. Are you ready for that? So type in the chat if you're ready. And you can as well start by giving us a quick feedback on the chat with what is management for you. When we say management, what comes to your mind? So what is management? What do you think management is? One word, couple of words, management. So managing a project, team building, efficiency, purpose, organization, leader, plan, organizing ideas, targets, maestro, collaboration. Oh, that's interesting. We have a lot, Primrose. How to manage and organize and lead, put in order, coordination, clear road. I like this. Management is using available resources to achieve a purpose. Woo! Collaboration. Interesting. Sustenance, resources, plan and execute. Amazing. This is amazing. So let's jump to the definition. that we have, it's management books definition. So in management, the management is actually, as you said, we have a goal that we need to attain. We have resources that we need to plan, organize, lead, and control in order to achieve the goal in the most effective and efficient way. So throughout this presentation, we will be aware of how to set goal, which is part of the planning, how to organize the resources and what are the different types of resources, how to lead the team and how to be part of the team, and how to monitor the execution of the plans in an effective and efficient way. So at the end of the day, we need to reach our goal, and this is effectiveness. Did I reach my goal or not? And what is the goal? The efficiency is the use of minimum resources to achieve this goal. So I need to use the minimum resources to achieve my goal or to achieve a maximum benefit from the resources I have. And we will discuss in details what are the resources and how to set the goal. So let's keep moving. Planning. I refer to the goal. This is the big goal of the Arts in Medicine Fellowship, and this is what Conley was sharing in his previous presentations. So to advance culture of care and well-being through creativity, cross-cultural and interdisciplinary collaboration. So you have two keywords here. So it's advancing care and well-being, and at the same time, the use of creativity. So here, this is the goal that we need to achieve as members of the Global Arts and Medicine Fellows. So how do we start? It all starts by identifying the main goal. So the goal here is the reason behind this group existence. So why this group is gathering? What do they want to achieve? So we definitely need to do a project with patients, caregivers, healthcare workers to provide them with a positive experience through creative engagement. So we need to have a who, which is the audience or the population, and the experience. What kind of creative engagement are we going to have? In this point, this is the very first step, is the team to gather. Once you know the team, you can have a brainstorming session. When the brainstorming session, everyone discuss what is the most appealing or convenient or possible segments or population that you can do the project with. It could be based on your own personal experience or a segment that you are passionate about, one of your friends, relatives, just a passion for you, and you keep focusing and reading knowledge about it, or a segment that is accessible to you, so you have access to this community. And based on this, everyone brainstorms, just brain dumping. You don't pick and choose. At this moment, you just brainstorm. And then you need to identify the what, which is actually understanding the need, a challenge of each segment. In order for everyone to understand what is this segment about, what are their needs and the nature of the segment. This could be done from by disc research, Googling reliable resources. You can do some interviews with the segment or the caregivers or the doctors. Just get more knowledge about the topic before you choose. In North Africa and Middle East project cohort 3, it was Art for Hope. So this is a guiding example just to give you the full exposure of the experience and what the team have been through in order to make it clear of how you could move forward. When we did the brainstorming, we had 7 topics on the table to choose from: face and limb disfigurement due to burns or other reasons, ADHD, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, kidney failure, kids cancer, and autoimmune diseases, which is the invisible diseases. Most of these are basically from the team. So we had one team member that is working at kidney hospital. We had one person working at kids cancer hospital. One person had experience with a lot of work with ADHD people. So this is the collective experience from the team. And then using the technology, we used WhatsApp. We could have been using Google Forms as well, but we used it for voting. So we voted for what is the topic we could be using. And the winner was the face and limbs disfigurement due to burn. At this point, once we had this topic, we have aligned with our mentor just to confirm that we're on the right track. We can do this. And then we have a topic. Then we started to do a disc research on the topic to understand the magnitude and the motivation of the project. Is it really, what is the magnitude of the project? So we got to know from disc research, from these resources, that there are more than 1 million patients in Africa suffering from burn injuries. So it's actually existing in our region. 18% of hospital admissions is due to burns. And it has a very high burden on the economy of the health ministries in Africa. So it's actually more than 2/3 of the burden on the economy in the world is actually due to burn is actually in Africa. So it's important that we work on it. And in our region, we had people from Egypt, Lebanon, and Saudi Arabia. So we needed to look globally at the region. And we got to understand more about this segment, which actually those people who have distortion in the external appearance, it's impacting their life on the emotional side, psychological or social. And we got to know that most researchers focus on the functional prosthetics, and they do not really pay much attention to the aesthetic or the psychological aspects due to the burn. And it came to our attention that it's really important, after discussion with caregivers and patients, that having a low self-esteem is a major point that no one is actually discussing. Social withdrawal and social exclusion are major problems for those patients. So based on this, we came up with a plan, which actually the goal and the target for us. And here you can refer to the topics that Conley has mentioned in his presentation. So we decided that the segment or the population is the face and limbs disfigurement patients due to burn or amputation for any other reasons. It came to our attention from the research that young adults are the most impacted with the social exclusion because their lives were disrupted at a very important stage of their life. So we picked young adults between 15 and 35, male and female. It wasn't, there was no major change or requirements for both. So we were okay to have males or female at the same intervention, plus their families and caregivers, because they really suffers a lot with them and they need to be part of the experience. And based on a discussion with them, with some patients and with caregivers, we got to know that they need at least 1 to 2 years post the incident in order to be able to accept such engagement. So they take 1 or 2 years for physical healing, for emotional and therapeutical process, and then they can participate in our activity. And we set clear objectives of the project. So we needed activities that work on adjusting the body image and increase self-esteem. We needed activities that would revive hope and give them hope for a new role in life. Increase awareness, of course, about the arts and medicine, and pre and post assessment of self-esteem. And we used one of the existing scales. The second objective, because we had one of our team members, she was a student in master's students in art, and she was working with sculpture. So she was working on producing cost-efficient and easy-to-use prosthetic limb that will help them replace or fix cosmetically the situation and help them to accept the new body part. So in conclusion, we were using the resources that we have in order to come up with an objective that fulfills what the population really needs. And this is what I encourage you to do. Just look for the segment, the population, and then search in order to identify how to make them benefit from arts in medicine. So the project global goal was to support them in social reintegration and revive of hope. And that's why it's Art for Hope. After we have the main goal ready, we need to put it into plan. And planning is actually, we have resources that we need to plan in order to identify who will do what, where, and when. These are the resources that we have in order to do the project, and this is global for any project. You have people, you have time, you have place, which is the location you will conduct the activity, materials and supplies needed, and the financial part. Any project needs a mix of those in order to happen. So the team or people is the most important asset or resource. Without no team, there is no project. So a project is a group of people collecting over an activity or a goal. There is an integral role for the team leader. So once you form the teams, you will be asked to nominate a team leader. And the team leader will be responsible for managing the global process and also help in planning and organizing. So the first thing that you will need to know, as Conley has mentioned, who will do what? So what are the skills and capabilities of your team? And to establish a strong team, you need to set the values that you will need to work with. So communication, collaboration, support, teamwork, this is what makes a strong team and what makes strong project. So if I do the project totally by myself, it's okay, either by choice or because I'm the only one in my region, but this is hardly happening. But the more people you have, the more support you get, the more minds that thinks together. Cooperation and collaboration produces synergy in the outcome, so you get more impact, probably. This is the way we have organized our team. So we know the name of the person, the country, and because we like connection, human connection, we added the birthdays, but it's not mandatory at all. And then the speciality of each person, which is actually the skills they are good at. So we had some people in therapy, and these are what they do. And we had some artists, and we had other professions. We had people in marketing, engineering, training, and brand management. So it helped. Everyone has mentioned how can they help in the project. And they attended the first meeting and they voted. And then we had the two votes, first choice and second choice. And as you see, face and burn is the most dominant choice. Then, because it's creative expressions, we needed to get a list of what creative activities the team members can do. And we got to know that we have a lot of artists, like visual artists. We have some people who works with sculpture, speaking, storytelling, psychodrama, play, dance, robe, and even makeup, disguise artists and access bar professionals. And some people had experience working with younger age. So kids and teens. We had all the resources just to decide how can we use these resources. And then we started the team formation. So we did a survey using WhatsApp, asking people how can they contribute and their skills. And we defined 6 groups, subgroups. Each one is specialized for a task, as you know, because it's a process we need to enjoy. So enjoy everything. We put colors in the project. And we had 6 teams, 1 team for the research, survey, festival, organization, and so on. I will take you through the details of it, but the point was to have a team responsible for each activity based on their own set of skills. And one important thing between the team is to have a clear communication. We need to have a clear communication. So we understand that people are busy. They are not all available at the same time. So we agreed on a weekly update time. So it's a fixed time on every Sunday, 6 p.m. Cairo time, to have the team meeting. 1 hour sharp, clear on objectives and the objective of the meeting. And then we record the session and post it on our own Telegram channel so that everyone, if you miss the session, you would listen to what happened during the session. So you're not left out. Everyone is aware of the process. So let's go for the teams. We had the research team. I removed the names of the people so that in case you want to use the same template, please feel free. The research team was responsible for collecting data, statistics, challenges of the audience or the population, their needs, the current healing tools used for them, the important organization that works for them, just collecting data for us to analyze. The survey team were more people specialized in research, so they were more aware of getting the best tool for pre and post assessment and reporting of the results. The activities team were more people who does workshops, so they do the activities and they are good in training coordinators and so on. So they can design proper workshops, recommend activities, get contacts of people with skills, as Connie was saying, volunteers to do an extra activities if we don't have this resource in our team. And ensure, of course, everyone needs to ensure that every team member is aware of where are we at the process to get them engaged. The strategy team, it was more of strategic people who had the skills in management in order to set the objectives and decide on the media and communication plan, what activities we can add, bring more to the intervention, where can we have this intervention, and ensure the group is engaged and everyone is aligned on what the team is doing. And of course, the management and organization team, people who are good in design, art, presentations, buying tools, translation whenever it's needed, project management, communication with external partners, taking minutes of meeting, ensure the logistics of the project is done properly. And every team of these teams, it had a group leader or a team leader. So we had the group leader, and instead of managing 20 people, there was the 20 team members were regrouped into smaller groups, and each group had a group leader. So at the end of the day, there were 6 or 7 people leading at different stages. So by this, once you have, this is organizing, having the team, when everyone is clear on what needs to be done and what is my role, they flow. This is not enough because time is an important factor. We have a deadline for ideation for your cohort on November 5th. And the festival days are between November 12th and 26th. So this requires a little bit of time planning. Today, it's the 3rd of September. So you have almost 2 months to plan. How do we do the planning? So planning is, again, it's a responsibility of the team leader. Planning starts with planning regular meetings. So people would know that I'm booking this time slot for the cohort, for the Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship Cohort 5. So it makes their life easier, and it makes the leader life easier to know when are we doing our meetings. Clarity on the deadlines. This is communicated 2 months ahead. Now you know it. Plan weekly deliverables. So what do we do this week in every weekly meeting? So what has happened last week and what do we need to achieve next week? And I suggest and I highly recommend that you use Gantt chart or any other technological tool. There is plenty of technological tools that can help you plan better with time. I personally have used the Gantt chart template on Excel sheet, and this is how it looks. It has, for the 2 months, it has the days. So every day is here, and we have the actions. The project, this is part of the planning of the project. It's not everything, it's the beginning of the project. We had the first part, the first introduction meeting. This is when we had the first meeting. It was one day kickoff. It's for the team. We had the information, brainstorming, everyone to think of what they need to think for 3 days. And then we had a meeting to share the ideas. And we spent 2 days in voting. And then we discussed with the mentor, and then, yay, we have an idea. So in 1 week, we had an idea. The original planning, I put a deadline that we need to finish on the 3rd. But actually, the team was really engaged and enthusiastic, and we did it 1 week ahead, which was great for us. And then after we have the project, now we know what we need to search for. The research team started to, we started to form the team, and then the tasks were drafted. It was discussed with the team that, okay, this is my recommendation for each team member to do 1, 2, 3. Are you okay if you need to change? So they speak out and say their feedback. And then finally, every team is clear on who is the sub leader, what are the tasks they need to do. And based on this, each team starts to have the actions. So once the team is formulated, tasks need to be assigned, data collection, synthesis and reporting, and then meeting to share their recommendation of the who and why. And then the team globally discuss, feedback, amends, and then we have the who and why. So this is planning. And then you keep building on it for the workshops, for the financials, for the execution, and so on. So please keep all your questions, write your questions down so that we have time at the end to answer to your questions. And then once we have a plan, so we have a goal, we have a plan. We need to know now here it's the ideation day. Before the ideation day, you need to have everything clear. It's the 5th of November. Then we move into the operational plan. Operational plan, it could be done by the same, it could be led by the same leader because he can do it. It depends on if he can do it, if he has time to do it, he or she, of course. So they need to define who will be leading. In our case, there was an operation leader because there was someone in the team that is very strong in operational more than strategic thinking. So she was leading it perfectly, defining the operation goal and having a plan B. Having a plan B is, as you know, life is good. However, it's not always that good. Sometimes we face challenges and obstacles, so it's good to have a plan B. What if? What if the location changed their opinion? What if we were short in budget? We could not do our plans. What if we did not find the trainer or one of the activities were not approved at the place? So you need to have a plan B just to secure what if scenario. And here it requires agility from the leader, from everyone in the team to adjust and change. The operation plan, in our case, once we knew the who, which segment are we talking to? How are we going to conduct the interventions? What activities exactly are we having? Where are we doing and what time are we doing the activity? We need to have the operational plan. Operational goal was going more into details of how many intervention are we having? Is it 1 session, two session, 3? It depends on our goal. How do we want to achieve it? The number of participants of each session, the precise budget planning. So once we know how many times we need to do the activity and the number of participants, we can calculate the material, we can calculate the cost and have a precise planning of the budget. The day flow. So here we start talking about this day, 9 in the morning to 9:30, we'll do X. From 9:30 to 9:45, we'll do this activity, blah, blah, blah. So you have a specific calendar, an agenda of the day. You also assign tasks for the participants during this day. So who will do what from the team? Who will take photography? Who will be handling the logistics if you're having a break or giveaways? Who will be handling the decoration in the place? Who will be conducting the art intervention? Who will be conducting the storytelling intervention if you're doing it? So everyone needs to be clear on the activity. On the photography part, I encourage you to read the Code of Conduct of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship that was sent to you, because it has all the details on having a written consent for the photography part and videography, of course. And it's really, really important to organize the rules of the day. So get back, please refer to the Code of Conduct of the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship. And by this, we would have come to close to the end. We still have a few things to talk about, but now we know how to plan our goal, how to organize the resources, and how to be effective and efficient in our activities. Leading is the role of everyone in the team to lead themselves, their process, their tasks, and it's a global role of the leader, of the group leader, to lead the process and monitoring the performance of the process. So here I cannot leave this session without talking about the group leader role in specific. So for those who think they can do this, please nominate yourself as a leader. And for the team, if you're going to choose a leader, choose the one that has the ability to do some of these things, because it's really important. The group leader has two main roles: managing the project and leading the team. So this one is related to the tasks, and this one is related to the human beings in the team, which is the most important asset. So the project leader lead the brainstorming session, they lead the strategy formulation process, the team formation and task allocation, it's in your responsibility. Coordinating across team members is in your part. Coordinating communication internally and externally with the Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship administrative team, or with the mentor, or with the other partners externally. Monitoring and reporting, make decisions. It's really important. You need to be qualified to make decisions, or you have the skill to make decisions, and it's everything. Everyone can learn all the skills. These are skills that needs to be learned, and it's okay too. And this could be learned by asking for help. This is very easy. When there is something that you're a challenge or obstacle or a skill you need to acquire, ask for help from the Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship team, from the mentors, from other team members. You will find someone to give you the advice. Prissy, I will ask you to take your question just for a few minutes, and we'll open the session for questions. Leading the team is actually why would people follow you unless you have a vision? So you need to have a clear vision on where you want to go and what you want to achieve as a team. Encourage the team and engage them to the project. Build a good team spirit. Be a good listener. Listen to your team, because you learn from them. They learn from you. We all learn from each other. So you need to listen. Persuasive, fair, socially intelligent, and emotionally capable of managing you're capable of managing your emotion and problem solving. You have problem solving skills. And our last topic is actually, it's everyone has a role. So as the team leader has responsibility, the team member has a role and responsibility. And you as a team member, your role is as important as the team leader. So you need to participate in the project. And as Conley mentioned, it's mandatory for the Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship graduation. And you'll be be actually a good part of the team, because it really makes a great success to the project. So you need to be actively participating. You need to be a good listener as well. You need to express yourself and make sure that people understand and the leader understands your point of view. You need to be reliable. So whenever you take a task, accept the task that fits your time schedule. So here, there is no mandatory. In the Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship, we're extremely flexible. I mean, there is no, if you are tight in time and you're very busy, you could be participating with a very minor task, and this is okay. And if you have time, you can do more engagement and more activities. But be honest with the team leader and the team members with your circumstances, so you take a task that fits your time. and your availability. And be honest about it. Be flexible whenever is needed. So don't be stick to your opinions. So because it's a team. So in team momentum, we need to reach an agreement and ask for help whenever is needed. Being part of the team also require that you share the same vision. So listen to what is the vision of the leader. And you can add and participate to adding and forming this vision. It's your responsibility to motivate yourself, and it's your responsibility to express what motivates you and what is the conditions that would help you achieve better and work better as a team member. Um, and then this exact same as the leader. Build a good team spirit, be a good listener and communicator, fairness, social intelligence, and emotional intelligence. So by this, it creates a good vibes and a good connection between the team. And it's the end of the presentation, and we can start with the Q&A session. Thank you very much for your time and hope it's useful for you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rainer. This is so key.
Thank you.
The floor is open now for questions. Perez raised his hand up earlier. I'm not sure if you wanted to ask a question. Please drop your questions in the chat box and we would readily answer them.
Yes, please.
Can everybody hear me, please? Are there questions for Rania? Okay, Andrew says yes. Yes, please. Can we hear your question? Ishraq says, thank you. Very fluent presentation.
Thank you. Oh, Marina, you have a very good observation skill. So my birthday was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
May, it's quite a lot, and you will take the presentation, and yes, it takes time.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of information there.
So Jihan is asking how we can make a group. So Jihan, you will receive a communication from Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship admin team next week, where they state where they create the group for you based on your local presence and other factors, and you just need to be part of the team. Don't worry about this part.
Okay. Rania, Dr. Dewala says you can take down your slides so we'll have the full screen and probably see everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, it's better. Lazarus says, thank you, Rania. I hope you post the presentation for us.
Thank you very much. Of course, I will. Yes, Mary, it will be shared. Okay, so I guess the project is clear now. Do you have ideas in mind? Do you have ideas of the segments?
Can you hear me?
Okay, there is a question here. Can the project be made in one session only if it achieves the goal? Of course. You can do the project in one session. It could be a seminar. It could be a virtual convening. It could be a virtual session. It could be a mix between a virtual and on-site activity. You have a complete flexibility to choose how are you going to advocate care, creativity, or arts in medicine. So it's completely your choice, Yamai.
Chike says, for the cohort 3 that you led, were you physically present in Egypt? And how did you handle funding?
Yes, I was physically based in Egypt, and in Egypt we were a big team. Some of us were living in Cairo city, and some were living in Alexandria city. We had people in Lebanon, and we had people from Saudi Arabia. and we were meeting regularly on Zoom. And sometimes we meet in person in Cairo for specific projects, specific tasks. So strategy formulation, coordination with the mentor. And this does not require everyone to be present. So one or two people to represent the team is enough. For the funding, we managed to do the funding. It was self-fund. So actually, we calculated the cost of the activity and we split by the number of the participants. We have done our project with an institution in Egypt that they take part of the cost. So the host that we did not need to rent a place. They provided the place and they provided the break for the breaks for the session. And we provided the tools, materials, and our time and spirit. There is another way. If you have the time, if you have the access, you can look for a sponsor, you can fundraise your project. You can even do it any other way to fundraise for your project. But this is how we did it.
Ishraq wants to know if it's better to be in the same country.
Actually, it does not necessarily need to be in the same country to do the project. We did the activities in Cairo and we did replicate the activity in Lebanon. So we had one person from Lebanon and she did what we did here in Egypt by herself. In Lebanon, she contacted another organization in Lebanon and she went to conduct the activity. The design of the program and the workshops, we did it collaboratively. So we did the same schedule in Egypt and in Lebanon in different days. And but the objective and the goal, the conclusion was the same. So you could be in the same country.
Kairat. Okay. Kairat wants to know how we can use the sheets in Excel for organization or other applications. I'm sure she's referring to the Gantt chart yeah.
How we can use
the sheets in Excel.
I will share the template of Excel with the admin team, and they can you can ask for it. But you will need to ask you will need to write the tasks based on your own project. What does it require to make your project happen?
Yeah. Myra Geb she thanks you for a clear presentation and wants to know if we're going to know the previous projects in our region so we can choose new ideas and learn from previous ones also.
Yeah, I think yes, you can reach out. You can connect with the mentor and reach out to the previous alumni, so you would know the project.
Okay.
I think cohort 3 we were talking about the face and limb disfigurement. Cohort 4 their project was about fibromyalgia. And get back to your mentor. Once you have a mentor identified, they will help you to reach out to the alumni team.
Gehan wants to know if this group from Cairo or the one from Alexandria, the project you shared with us, is it for the group from Cairo or is it for the group from Alexandria?
It's collectively. People from Cairo traveled to Alexandria to meet the team there, and we did one intervention. And the people from Alexandria came to Cairo, and we did another intervention. So we did it in both places. It was a team spirit. It was a teamwork. So we think together, we execute together whenever it was not a mandatory for people to travel between cities, but people choose to go. And not everyone traveled for the first session, but everyone traveled for the second session. So it's very, very flexible depending on the availability of the team.
Okay. Ayorinde says some of us are not stable in a particular location. So can such a person do the project anywhere? That is another state where he or she may not be at that particular time.
I don't get the question clearly. Would you say
he wants to know if in a situation where a particular person is unstable, perhaps you're in one location today and in another location tomorrow, how can you manage the project? How can you manage participation in the project for the region?
Okay, participation in the planning and organizing of the project does not require you to be in the place. All it takes is you need internet and you need probably you can do online meetings. It does not require you to be in a specific place or in the city. But when it comes to the execution of the project, uh, if you move a lot and you're not in the same place where the activity will take place, you can participate virtually, or you already have participated in the planning phase. So there is no need to be existing physically during the execution of the day.
Yeah.
Or another scenario, if you know where you will be between the festival time, the 12th to 26th, you can pick a day and a location where it suits you to be physically available in the place. I hope it
Okay.
answers you.
Yeah, I think the answer is clear as well. Andrew says, as a fellow, can your team members do a project around skill acquisition in an underserved community?
Would you say it again, please?
Can your team members do a project around skill acquisition in an underserved community?
Of course, I think, yeah. I mean, the choice of the project objective, it has to be your choice. It needs to be a cause that you believe in or a group of people that you want to support. So, yes, the Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship requires advocating and promoting the use of arts in well-being and in health and in helping people care and well-being. So as long as your project objective is to deliver on this big goal, then the floor is yours. It's your
Okay.
choice. Make decision.
Mai is still unclear about being in different countries. She says she wants to know if we can make different sessions in both locations and use their results as collaborative art pieces.
Yes, we can definitely do this.
Okay. I think that's about that. Okay. Gehan, is it necessary to work in hospitals, or where do we bring the recovered or sick from? I think Gehan wants to know about choice locations for projects.
Yeah, choice of location is actually another decision that the team needs to decide on. Where is the best place to do the activity? So if you have access to a hospital, then and they approve and accept that you go there, please go there. If you don't have access to the hospital, but you have access to the audience, you can rent a place outside. Or if there is a private training center that supports your cause or goal, they can participate and provide the place for free. Or you can rent the place wherever you want, or you can do it in a garden, or you can do it virtually. Just consider the status and the condition of the population that you have picked. So if you pick, for example, cancer patients, they require a specific treatment, a specific requirements of the place, specific nature of the material and the activity you do. So it's a very sensitive segment. If you're working with another segment, then you need to pick a place that is most convenient for them and for everyone.
Okay, I think that's about all the questions we have at this time. I think it's now time for us to take our group photographs.
Yeah, but
The absence of
Primrose, there is an interesting question, a very, very important question from May.
oh
It's about the safety and
I see.
privacy for the
Yes.
participants.
Just came in now.
Yeah, it's again, go back to the code. Please, everyone, read carefully the code of conduct from Global Arts in Medicine Fellowship. The code of conduct, it has everything that secures the safety and privacy of the participants, of the patients, of the place. It has all the details to make sure that everyone is safe. And of course, you need to be very open with the organization you discuss with, if it's hospital or other place, to be very honest, very transparent. Ask them what do we allow us to do and what you don't allow us to do, and tell them the use of, if you're taking photography or videography, just ask them for the rules. In our case, we have worked with Ahl Masr. It was the only institution in Egypt that works with burns cases. And for them, they allowed photography within a specific, with a specific criteria for a specific use. So they give us permission to do what to do and what not to do. So this needs to be clarified with the partners. But starting point is carefully read the code of conduct. Is there a formal letter from you you can use to any hospital where you want to apply the project? I think the alumni have this letter, and at the end of the day, the letter represents what you need to do. So the letter simply states, "Dear X, I need Mr. or Mrs. We are a group of Global Arts and Medicine Fellowship, and we need to do this activity," and explain the activity with your institution.
Okay. Khairat wants to know if we can work with kids under 10 years old as population.
Yeah, you can work with any segment as long as you consider the requirements that this segment require. I mean, yes, if you're working with this segment, of course you can just get back to the caregiver or do some research. This is the research part of the do's and don'ts. Connect with experts, Google what could be done. I mean, you can work with the kids, but which segment of the kids? You need to be a little bit more specific, and what activities you are going to do for those kids, and what objective are you going to do. But yes.
Okay. Dr.
Thank you very
Adewale
much.
has just dropped on the chat box. Yes. He's saying that there's a fellowship request from the admin when it's time. So I think that's helpful information.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I want to believe that there are no more questions. If there are, please, you still have a few seconds to drop your questions before we move on to the next agenda. Okay, Marwa says should we choose the idea from the project only from sessions of art in medicine that you have studied? I'm not sure that question is clear, but I think he's trying to know if the projects that can be ideated must be from sessions in the fellowship.
Not really.
Okay.
It's as long as you can use any creative expression to interact with the population. I mean, in our in Arts for Hope, we use the kintsugi art, and the idea came up from actually the research we have done. When we did the research, we got to know that there is a kintsugi art that most fits people, and it's, for you to know, it's a Japanese art of fixing the broken. So when anything is broken, you can fix it and be more beautiful than it used to be. And this is an activity that was very interesting, and it came out from our own homework. We did the homework.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being very participating in this session. Would invite everyone to please turn on your cameras while we take our group photographs now. Dr. Adewale, we're ready. And we are smiling this time.